We are seeing more cracks on the new build side, with the latest being issues with a Mississauga developer filing for creditor protection. So in this video, I wanted to dive more into Precons since we're seeing more investors coming to us asking about them as condo prices are starting to pick up again. In case you don't know, when you buy a Precon, you're entering into an agreement to buy something that has not been built yet, and you probably won't see it done until a few years down the road. Because of a higher risk of unknown, Precons are inherently higher risk compared to resale condos. And so historically, Precons offered a slight discount over resale condos after adjusting for expected appreciation by closing. Nowadays, I would say that Precons are even higher risk compared to before, and perhaps not everyone realizes this yet. So in this video, I'll dive into this more and show you how Precons look like as an investment today, when you should consider a resale condo, and when Precons might make more sense. Before I continue, if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss other videos like this made specifically for real estate investors in Toronto. In a nutshell, here is how a developer would price a Precon. They would look at the fair market value of a similar condo today and then factor in an expected appreciation by closing minus a varying level of discount based on supply and demand. Precons were not always a very hot commodity, and this is very different compared to what is happening in recent years where you would feel like you won the lottery if you got one. There was a time when Precons did see less demand because of the higher risk involved, and so developers would offer a good discount for those who are willing to take on the extra added risk for potentially better returns. 2015 to 2020 was Toronto condos' big moment, and they saw amazing double-digit annual price growth, which was far better than expected. And so, even though Precons didn't give you rental income or appreciation, Precon investors made a lot of money from the fact that actual appreciation was higher than what was priced in, which doesn't always happen. Fast forward to 2022, and we're in a pretty different condo world today. Right now, condos are less desirable post-COVID. Cash flows just aren't there for investors as a long-term rental, and you're not allowed to Airbnb your condo anymore in order to bump up your rent yields. But perhaps because Precons did so well in the past, a lot of people still remember the amazing performance or are driven to Precons simply from stories from friends who made a lot of money from Precons. Remember that Precon discount that I talked about is really driven by supply and demand. When there's less demand, there could be a bigger discount, but these days, demand for Precons is still pretty high, and so the Precon buying discount is pretty low. Instead of a discount, actually, it seems like Precons are now factoring in an extra premium because developers are trying to protect themselves in case building costs continue to shoot up. Which leads me to the fact that yes, Precons are riskier these days for both the developer and for you as the buyer. First of all, even if Precon builders do add in that extra price buffer for building uncertainty, they might still ask you for more money if inflation gets ugly. We've seen this happen a few times already over the last year, and it's very possible that this will continue to happen. The second risk is completion risk, and it's getting pretty real. Most recently, a Mississauga developer just asked for creditor protection, and when you dig into it, it's not that they don't have enough demand for their condo units. They've actually sold most of the units already. But the problem right now is that actual costs are much higher than the expected cost for building, and now with rising interest rates, the project just doesn't seem sustainable anymore. Next, let's talk about delays. We know that Precons are notorious for delays even before COVID started. With COVID now being a very valid excuse these days, you can probably expect even longer completion times, and so this is another elevated risk. Then we do have the higher expense risk as well. In an inflationary and rising interest rate environment like today, your financial projections can change drastically if the assumptions you use end up being significantly worse than expected. So this is something else to keep in mind. And the final thing is mortgage risk. Right now, investment properties require a 20% down payment, but we are seeing news that investment properties might be subject to a higher down payment requirement starting Q2 of 2023. If this is the case, it's possible that you might end up needing more down payment than you anticipated, which you may or may not have, and this will also very well change up your ROI on your property as well. So right now, the expected returns on a Precon are much lower than what's expected on a resale condo. At the same time, you're faced with much higher risk these days. So from a risk and reward standpoint, Precons make a lot less sense these days, and it's probably not the best idea if you have enough money to invest in a resale condo today. When you buy a resale condo, you get stable rental income on day one, a better chance for gains from appreciation, and you're not subject to that extra premium because of uncertain building costs. With Precons before closing, you only make money if actual appreciation beats that priced-in appreciation by more than that premium you paid for, which really is a coin toss these days, so it's definitely a more speculative short-term move. So only if you can't afford to buy a resale condo, Precons might make a decent investment if you look at it from a long-term investment standpoint. The big plus with Precons is that they do allow you to save up for your down payment over a longer period of time, so you don't need all of that money up front. Eventually, you'll still end up owning real estate, which can generate double-digit annual returns for you. But be careful. Because there is a higher development risk these days, I would only recommend that you buy from reputable builders in markets that benefit from a COVID recovery like Toronto. If you want to learn more about real estate investing opportunities in Toronto and learn what's right for you, let's chat. We can look at your requirements and preferences and then match you up with the best investment opportunity that fits your needs. After we help you buy, our team also provides renovations guidance, leasing, and property management if you need it. So just connect with us if you want to learn more about our services by heading to the link in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and look for us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn if you want to hear from us more regularly. I wish you all the best in your real estate investing journey. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.